at the end of the day, the boys got the job done, and that is all that matters. With the Sixers going up against a very bad Oklahoma City Thunder team, good win. Even though it wasn't pretty in the slightest, that first half was, oh my goodness, they just could not hit anything. But going into that second half, that third quarter was perfect. And then basically just getting the job done the rest of the way and just basically taking care of business. That's all that it is. And especially when you have the back-to-back tomorrow against Cleveland. And especially, like, it kind of looks weird because when you are going up against the Oklahoma City Thunder, a very bad team, everything that transpired yesterday with the trade deadline, there's definitely going to be you're probably not going to have your best mindset going into it just because of everything that has gone down. So maybe that's the best possible situation when you're going up against a very bad team and you still manage to get the job done, which is very important at the end of the day. So a good win by the Sixers. There definitely was not many pretty moments, especially in that first half, but still, got the job done. It's all that matters. So before we get into all of this, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports. And before we get into the Sixers victory over the Oklahoma City Thunder, the most important thing you can do is hit that subscribe button. I will greatly appreciate that. So if you're a new viewer looking to all your latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events, this is the place to be. It is a great or a miserable time depending on the outcome. Also, if you're a current viewer of the channel, I am grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. Also, if you're looking for tickets to any upcoming sporting event, concert, whatever you can think of, use the code TTPSPORTS down below for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So you're talking about basketball, Sixers games, NHL, football. I know it's the Super Bowl. All that crap's expensive. Wait until the regular season starts again next season. So then you get your tickets then. Baseball, whenever the hell that decides to come back. So basically, free $20 in your pocket, takes away the fees, and you can use that $20 for a beverage, food item at a sporting event. Definitely. Free $20 in your pocket. You can't turn that down. Use the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek today. So the Sixers win 100-87 over the Oklahoma City Thunder. And basically, I would say this is just, like I said many times, taking care of the business. And it's basically just the day after the James Harden, Ben Simmons trade. You're not going to have your best start because all the emotions that are going into it, you're missing a couple of pieces because you traded them away to get James Harden, and James Harden is not going to be playing yet. And I think the report was he's not going to be playing until Tuesday's game, so he's not going to be playing tomorrow against Cleveland. He won't be playing until Tuesday, so we got to wait a couple of more days to see James Harden in a Sixers uniform, which is very understandable. He's got to get acclimated to the team, acclimated to Doc Rivers' system, so yeah, that's very understandable. But it also kind of sucks because I do want to see James Harden just play on the court with Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. Oh my God, that honestly, it just looks like it would be fantastic to see. And speaking of guys like Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, and Joel Embiid, definitely not the perfect night from him that we're acclimated to seeing this season, but still, I would say it's a pretty respectable night. 25 points, 19 rebounds, 4 assists, went 8 of 11 from the charity stripe. And yeah, there was a little bit of a weird moment because definitely during the game he was favoring that wrist a little bit, so hopefully that's not going to be, a serious situation moving forward. Hopefully, I'm not sure what's going to happen in tomorrow's game since it is the back-to-back. I would assume Joel Embiid is going to play. I'm not sure they're going to bench him just because you don't have the the replacement for him at that point. But it might, you might see Bassey get some minutes. You saw Paul Reed get some minutes, and oh my God, Paul Reed just Paul Reed, what are you doing there, my man? The dude tries to go for a reverse dunk, completely misses it, completely flops the entire situation. And the reaction from Doc Rivers is absolutely priceless. You see on the entire the live feed situation, he misses the dunk. Paul Reed comes back up the court. He's laughing, but then you just see Doc Rivers on the sideline, just in this serious face, just like. It's just like, what the hell are you doing at that point, man? Just take the normal dunk, get a layup. It's like, dude. That was just a very, very funny moment. Just basically just you can't even describe it, I guess, at that point. It was that ridiculous. But still, going to the rest of some of the players, Tyrese Maxey was brilliant in today's game. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 2 of 4 from the 3-point line, 4 or 5 from the free throw line. And basically, Maxey, I just can't wait to see James Harden going up with, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, see how that flows through together. Because right now, since you did lose Andre Drummond, you don't have Seth Curry anymore. The lineup going into today's game, you got Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, and Furkan Korkmaz. Matisse Thybulle, I thought he had a pretty solid game overall today. Shooting is not going to be his best point, and offensively because, it feels like he has his game sometimes where he can hit his threes, and this was definitely a game where he was not able to hit them. He went over 2 from the 3. He basically got 10 points throughout this game, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, and I would still play a very solid night by Matisse Thybulle, a plus 11 in the differential for him as well. So basically just overall a solid day for him. Furkan Korkmaz, he struggled, of course, because what else is new with Furkan Korkmaz? He only had 5 points in this game, and majority of his points were from the free throw line. He went 3 of 4 from there, and he went 1 of 2 from the field as well. So, guys coming off of the bench, you got Danny Green getting 19 minutes. He only gets 3 points in this game, and that lone point was a 3-point shot. You got Niang coming off of the bench with 6 points. And Shake Milton, 25 minutes off of the bench today. He really, honestly, it's understandable why he's struggling just because he's coming off of injury. He's not going to be in the best, game shape as possible. He's been out for a very long time. He's going to be really rusty. So basically at that entire standpoint, he's going to struggle, which is very, very understandable. So he only has 4 points off of the bench, and Paul Reed gets 6 points off of the bench as well. And Tobias Harris, very solid game overall. 36 minutes, 17 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists. He was 2 of 3 from the 3-point line. Only got to the free throw line once, and he made one of those plays as well. So, first half, not the best. Basically, it just felt like no team could hit their shots, which was, it's understandable on the Thunder side because, one, they're not good. But from the Sixers side, coming into this game, like I said, you're coming off of the James Harden stuff, coming off of all those emotions, and Doc Rivers is even talking about that before the game as well. Even all the questions about why you make this trade, why we're doing this, and why he's excited to have James Harden in the first place as well. So you got all those emotions just coming into it. Your mind is like thinking of so many different things going into this. Oh, we're getting James Harden eventually. We lost a couple of our teammates that have been around us for a while. They're not going to be here. That's going to be weird to get used to. So you just got so many emotions that are going through your mind, which is probably one of the other things that I wouldn't say influenced, what affected that first half by the Sixers. But as the game basically went along, you go into the end of the first half, and the Sixers go on that run, 8-0 run by basically start with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey just being unbelievable at that point, especially Tyrese Maxey at the end of that first half. It's just like, whoa, Tyrese, I love you, man. Tyrese Maxey equals a stud. That's basically the entire summary of that scenario. And you just continue going into that at the start of the third quarter, Tyrese Maxey being a stud once again. Man, the dude was just all over the court tonight, and I just love watching the kid play. My goodness. And I know I haven't really been talking about Sixers much this year. I know I apologize for that slack in that standpoint. It's just, like I said, I don't feel like I'm comfortable enough talking Sixers, but hey, it's perfect time than anything. James Harden. And call me a bandwagon if you want. I really don't care nonetheless. But still, very fun to watch. Been watching this team all season, trying to get my full opinion on the entire thing, but I'm very excited with this team. Watching James Harden, well, eventually going to watch James Harden. I haven't been able to watch him yet because he isn't on the court with the team. We got to wait another 2 games. It's going to suck. Man, I really don't want to wait that long to watch James Harden in a Sixers uniform. Why did we have to wait so long? I'm just like, blood is boiling. I just want to watch him. I'm getting antsy. I want to see James Harden on the court. I want to see him with Tyrese Maxey. I want to see him with Joel Embiid. I want to see that, dynamic trio. Man, I'm just really pumped up to see what, when that happens, when that eventually happens on Tuesday for the Sixers, when James Harden finally gets to dress in a Sixers uniform. And also the same thing with Paul Millsap as well. I think Doc Rivers in postgame as well, talking about he's been training in Atlanta right now, so he's basically going to be in the same situation as Harden right now. They got to get acclimated to everything, to the system, so you're probably not going to see Paul Millsap maybe around the same time as a James Harden or something like that. So right now, it's just a wait game at this point. to see when those guys come into the lineup. And basically from this game, like I said, second half, they basically just took care of the business. Third quarter was really good by this team. They managed to finally hit their shots. Because if you look at through the entire game, you get 24 points in total in the first, 22 in the second, which was definitely, they struggled a lot in that second quarter, especially with the Thunder as well. They only got 17 points. But basically, the Sixers go on that 8-0 run at the end of the second. So if you take away that 8-0 run, they only have, around 14 points in total in that second quarter. So, yes, that basically just describes to you how much, both teams were struggling in that first half just to hit anything. It was bad. It was not pretty. Not pretty at all. But like I said, got the business done in the third and the fourth quarter. 31 points in that third quarter. And you got 23. Yeah, they were eventually struggling to hit it down late as well. And you eventually get Joel Embiid taken out of the game. So basically, the Thunder get their little thing going. But then the Sixers, at the end of the day, they just took care of business. So I don't think there's really that much to complain about with this game, just because there's so many things that went into it, mainly with the James Harden trade. And that's basically it, because you got so many emotions that are going through your head going into this game with same thing going into Doc Rivers' head, going into the players' head, because you got two guys, Seth Curry, that's been a mainstay in the locker room for the past couple of seasons, Andre Drummond, even though he's been only with the team this season, it's still like these guys have been around us for a little bit, and not seeing them, they're gone. Especially, also thinking about Ben Simmons is finally gone. Thinking about how that, just basically just a sigh of relief for a lot of those guys in the locker room. Just thinking about at this point, what do you think they think when, they see that Ben Simmons is gone? Is that basically just a breath of sigh of relief at that point? Just like, my God, this guy's finally gone. He's gone. And we got James Harden because of it. Maybe that's what they're thinking. And I hope that's what they're thinking, because that is a, really good trade-off. It definitely is. And I know, for some reason, it feels weird, because I know there's a lot of people that don't like the trade in regards to getting James Harden. I know there's a lot of situations just because James Harden, he's also, known to be that guy. He's a locker room cancer, like some people want to say it that way, or they don't like the reason giving up Seth Curry, they don't like giving up Andre Drummond, they don't like giving up the draft picks. I don't know why people are so obsessed with the draft picks at this point. Basically, Doc Rivers said that in his pregame presser, saying you make this trade because you want to try to win. Getting James Harden makes the Sixers better right now. Does that mean they're going to go win an NBA championship this season? No, but it makes them 10 times better and puts them in a better position than they were during the season in general. They probably were going to be, at best, a second-round team without James Harden. And basically the same standpoint where they've been the past couple of seasons, getting past that second round. And yeah, there are still many issues with the Sixers team. The bench. The bench is one of their major flaws. And that's something that they're definitely going to have to look into. And I know the buyout market definitely could be some factors. Maybe you get a backup center in that standpoint. Maybe, Daryl Morey looks to get a backup point guard as well. But that's still something we have to, wait and see how that, happens and whenever it does happen. So that's probably not even that much longer down the road looking into that standpoint. But still, it's just right now, I don't care what it means for the Nets side. At this point, you're thinking of, this is a trade that both teams win. Like, you got James Harden. You got one of the best players in the NBA. You finally got someone to play beside of Joel Embiid. And also Tyrese Maxey as well. Seeing this kid grow, seeing how this is going to affect him. Maybe he elevates his game because of it. Because right now, if you're looking at a starting lineup for this team, possibly, you're looking at Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, James Harden, and maybe do you put a Danny Green into the lineup, and did you put Matisse Thybulle, or do you put a Tyrese Maxey? Do you rotate some of those guys off of the bench as well? So there's many possibilities now when you add James Harden into the mix too. And also with the bench stuff, we know Doc Rivers has those problems throughout the entire season and just throughout his entire coaching career. So you got to see how does he stagnate the bench a little bit? Does he separate some of the minutes, get some, some of the starters playing with the bench guys a little bit? Does James Harden play a little bit with the bench guys? Who knows? Who knows what is going to happen, but it's an exciting time. Just be happy. That's basically the entire summary of this entire thing. Just be happy that we got James Harden. Be happy. Just be happy entirely. But overall, good win by the Sixers. Even though the first half wasn't pretty, you got the job done. That's all that matters. So you got a game tomorrow against Cleveland, so you got to prepare for that. We're not going to see James Harden until Tuesday, so still going to be antsy during that time, but still, big game tomorrow. Let's try to get a win tomorrow. Good win today. So I want to hear your thoughts on this performance by the Sixers. So don't forget to leave those comments down in the comment section below. Don't forget to drop a like on this video. Don't forget to check out the Painted Lines, which I'm a part of. The links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Florida Pod and Merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Don't forget to check those out. Also, don't forget, like I said in the beginning of the video, most important thing you do is hit that sub button and also use the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek now. And I will see you next time.